Clipper Nation, Laker Nation, we saw a treat for at least three quarters. But that fourth quarter was all Lakers as they dominated, which led to a 135-118 victory for them, making it four straight wins over the Clippers. B, Michael Matthew here with my guy B. B, what did you see? Because it started fast
Yeah,
for Luka Doncic, 24 points in that first
man.
quarter, but the Clippers were keeping pace. James Harden was there. The defense was doing its part, but it got ugly in that fourth quarter where they couldn't get a stop, and when they needed to score early, they couldn't find a bucket, and the Lakers put them away. What did you see from the Clippers and from the Lakers as well as they picked up this win?
What I've seen from the Clippers is a team that is necessarily on their last leg. And what I mean by that is Kawhi wasn't scoring at a high rate. The
Mm.
Lakers took Zubac out the game very early. And you just see a team that's just struggling, and the struggles continue. We thought it was going to continue in the third like it usually does, but it actually continued in the fourth. And the
Mhm.
team necessarily ran out of gas and they hung it up. But when it comes to the overall looking at the Lakers, you just seen a three-headed monster that just took his time. You saw Luka in the first half. He
Yep.
had his 24. And then you had LeBron James. I call him slow motion now because he's a little older. But he just took his time in which he necessarily asserted himself and dropped 20 plus. And then Austin Reeves is just having a year.
Yeah.
In the last 4 or 5 games, he has averaged over 4 rebounds, which is big. He had 9 tonight. So
Yeah.
that is something to look at as him being a defensive paralysis, crashing the board, and just
Mhm.
being active on that end. So the Lakers, when you see they have all three of their players together, they're unstoppable as they are moving on in the NBA Cup.
Yeah, their big three shine really bright today.
Yeah.
Luca, of course, went crazy. Another 40-point game. The MVP chants. It felt like you were watching Kobe up in here again with
Yes.
some of the shots that he was able to make. Austin Rivers, Reeves with 30 points, doing his thing, excuse me. And then LeBron James still finding his footing, but
Yeah.
putting up numbers, doing his thing. I want to get it right. 25, 6, and 6 with a steal and a block shot for LeBron. But you mentioned what it was for the Clippers. When you're paying a guy like Kawhi Leonard as much money as he makes,
Mhm.
you don't want to see him score 19 points, especially in a game so big. I know those. I can't wait to get on X after this because I know the Clipper fans are pissed and upset. Like, come on, Kawhi, you're back. This is the best you give us, and it just makes it tough. But you mentioned Zubac. They made it tough for him. 10 points coming off a game he had 38 and 13 with no DeAndre Ayton. You figured, hey, Zoo might be a problem tonight, but he wasn't. What happened there, and why didn't it work out for Zubac tonight?
Well, you just necessarily can't write off, Jackson Hayes being the dominant, athletic big he is.
Yeah.
Definitely his time when he was playing with the Pelicans was very dominant. But
Mhm.
what I noticed that the Lakers did a lot during this game, they kept sending a lot of blitzes at folks.
Yeah.
So they send blitzes at Zoo, they send blitzes at Kawhi, and blitzes at James. Of course, James is going to do what James is going to do.
Yep.
But it got under Kawhi's skin, and it definitely frustrated Zoo, and that just took them two out the game. And again, the team went on James Harden's back, and they couldn't get over the hump. So we're seeing that. And you also seeing that the Clippers didn't win over the turnover battle.
Yeah.
They lost that again, even though it wasn't too crazy. Clippers usually throw up 20 plus turnovers,
Yeah.
but it wasn't
Only
too.
14
Yeah,
tonight.
it wasn't crazy.
Yeah.
But there was some moments in the game when the Clippers were very sluggish on offense, and it resulted in easy basket for the Lakers.
Yeah. And, we thought the free throw battle would be truly favored to the Lakers. It was
Mhm.
26 and 24. So it was right there. It's just, not being able to get those stops that's needed, especially late, was the Clippers' problem. You score 118, you figure the Clippers can get the stop that'll make it a much closer game, but it
Definitely.
wasn't because the Lakers were able to find a way. But it was fun tonight. You got a little skirmish there. People want to say, before the game, J.J. Redick pretty much told me, I don't really see this as a rivalry. But I just think that this city sees this as a rivalry. Whether it's big brother, little brother, it's still something to be dealt with. You saw the issue with Chris Dunn
Mhm.
and Luka Doncic. Jackson Hayes jumped into it. And shout out to Luka. He was like, I got Jackson Hayes' fine. But just to see something like that, I think we need to see more of that in NBA basketball, especially in LA basketball.
You won't see that too much because I'm just gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
That's a frustration play by Chris
Yeah,
Dunn.
it makes sense.
Throughout the night,
Yeah.
they even said it on air
Yeah.
about how James Harden was complaining to the refs.
Yeah.
But then you turn around, you have Luka talking to the refs.
Mhm.
I'm not an individual of a lot of excuses, but with this game, it just wasn't enough.
Yeah.
The excuse is I can't even say the Clippers are not healthy. The Clippers are molded into the oldest team in the league, and you're seeing what when you don't have you, what
Yeah.
it looks like.
No, yeah, and you got to figure it out. One of the stories there in the post game today was about this floor. We're standing here on the floor. You're hearing from Luca and some of the other guys saying that it's a slippery floor. So hopefully the NBA can figure some things out with that and try to get that right. But the Lakers, they're going to head to the quarterfinals for the NBA Cup and try to be the first team possibly to get a second NBA Cup, which will be very impressive. But we got more to come before that. Before we get out of here, player of the game. Who is your player of the game today, Beef, on either side?
My player of the game, starting with the Los Angeles Clippers, of course, is going to be James Harden.
Okay.
This is James Harden's team. We're just going to keep it cut and dry. Without this team, you think the score wouldn't even be irrelevant
Man,
if it wasn't
agreed.
for James Harden. So James Harden, I take my hat out to you.
Yeah.
And just looking at the Lakers, we can talk about Luca all day, but the person I'm actually going to focus on is going to be Austin
Ooh,
Reeves.
I like it.
31 points,
Yeah.
9 rebounds. He was just a menace. I mean, taking it to the Clippers, if not from the three-point line, he's driving to the hole. He's being active on defense. AR would just light it up.
Yeah, he played some great basketball, especially there late to help close out the Los Angeles Clippers. But I'm with you. I really like what James Harden was able to do, 29, 9, and 5. Just his typical basketball game. He is going to have to look like this type of player every game for the Clippers to have any opportunity, especially if Kawhi Leonard is going to play the way that he did tonight. 19 points is good for a role player.
Definitely.
But when you're a star guy, you can't be scoring 19 points. And for the Lakers, you said everybody's gonna talk about Luka. You are exactly right. Luka Doncic, that man had, well, let me get this right, 43, 13 assists, 9 rebounds, and only 3 turnovers, which is great for a guy who has the ball that much. That man should be mentioned when it comes to the Jokic's, the SGAs, the Giannis, and whomever else you think is at the top of the NBA. Luka Doncic is right there. And right now, he would be my favorite for the NBA MVP. Nobody thought the Lakers would be this good to start off, and Luka is a big reason why they are. So we're gonna have you covered whether it's here inside of crypto or all the way in Inglewood at the Intuit Dome. We got you covered. Mike Hill Matthew, my guy B. We'll see you next time.
Let's go.